Hello folks, I'm so glad you've come to join me today. I am going to do something so fun, an area that's so special to my husband and I. We've gone by this so many times, so we've seen it in different kinds of whether it's fall or spring or winter. We've seen it so many ways, and it's such a beautiful area, and it's called Eagle's Nest. It's north of Silverthorne. I don't know how many miles, but it's such a beautiful, beautiful range. And if you've ever been by it, you'll be impressed to stop and take some pictures because it is so beautiful. So I have done that. Now I want you to see this picture that I have two 4x6s, and you'll see I just taped them on the back. And I wrote on their Eagle's Nest, so I know that that's what that is, but I tape it on the back with Scotch tape because this is kind of where I want to paint. And you know, very often when you take a picture with your camera, you can't get the whole thing you want to paint, so that way you can put a couple pictures together. So this is the little, and this range is so beautiful down here, even at the bottom. But then what I did is then I went and took it to PostNet and I had it enlarged because I did now I have to tell you, I don't ordinarily do this, but this is 300-pound paper, so it's not stapled on, so it's buckled a little bit on me when I did the sky. But look at this. Is that gorgeous or what? And the crazy part of it is we have such blue cobalt skies at the top, but this time the way it was such a cobalt blue sky, but then right over the mountains it was just a range of clouds, just fluffy clouds, right? So I've done the sky different than what I ordinarily do, but I'm putting this up here so I can see what I'm painting. And I did draw this mountain range. I didn't just lines down here for that foreground part, but I had to draw this because it's so, well, you know, I like the snow when it's on the mountains. It just shows the mountains. Now, one of the things about this mountain range up there, there's a lot of rock, a lot of rock up there. As it comes down into the valley, then it's the greens and the trees and stuff. But boy, those mountains are really rocky up there. So this is going to give me a good way to look at it so I can see what I'm painting. And I went ahead and I did the top and the clouds. And the reason I did today is because I really want to concentrate on showing you how to do these mountains and the snow. And so I spent some time doing that because I want to really be able to show you. That's the main thing of this picture today. We will do some greens down here, but I want you to see these beautiful mountains. And you know, when I did the sky up here, then I just took my Kleenex like I do and wadded up and take that out to make those fluffy clouds. But that's the way they were. It was crazy how they were. So today I'm going to have you watch me mix the elephant gray. And I'm going to put it on this plate this time because I'm going to do 3 different shades of elephant gray because this is so much to paint of those mountains, and they're just not all the same. They're just really different. And so I needed to be able to have you see me do the mixing, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to set this aside while we mix a little bit. You know, one of the things when you starting to mix the elephant gray, what happens very often is you'll think, oh, I'm not doing this right because it'll turn green. Well, that's what it does when you first start mixing it. It's just crazy how much. So I'm going to mix some pretty big amounts here, and I know that we'll have to mix it again. Now, one of the things that happens with the elephant gray, some other colors do this too, but this one really does it. One of the things that happens as I'll paint, then you'll come back to it and you'll think, well, that's not the right color at all. Well, what happens is the colors separate, and so you have to mix them up together again to keep them going. But I'm going to mix one big thing first of the elephant gray. And then we will divide it and put it over here and just do some other colors. So you know, it is the orange. It's the orange that we will mix with the cobalt blue, and we will have a bunch of colors. Then we'll have our, because we aren't going to use this gray after we get the mountains done. We aren't going to be using this much. Now see, that's not, oh, now there it's wanting to turn a little bit greener. It's crazy why it's like that, but it does. That's how it does it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put just, and so see how on the plate like that, I just decided this needs to be done on the plate because I've got to have quite a bit mixed. So I'm gonna take a swatch of this over here like this. I'm just gonna take a swatch of it, and then I'm gonna mix some more blue with it. And because some of this really needs to be the bluish color, it'll vary from the, and I'm gonna put some more water with that because I want some more blue, and mostly, yeah, look at that. That'll be pretty on the paper. It looks pretty blue, but it's pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna take part of that, and we're gonna mix some of that over here. Okay, and this time I'm gonna put a little bit more orange with it. Okay. So this will give me pretty much different colors that will be good with the gray. And the reason you want this mixed, if you possibly can, while you're doing it, instead of little puddles. Now see, that's bluer. This is blue gray, and then that's the dirty looking gray, dark. And that has a touch of that green. See, just that short time that I was mixing that thing already is separating. It's crazy, but it's good to use your little flat brush when you're mixing something like this. It's hard on your brushes to mix with your number 8 brush to mix this much stuff, so it's better. So we will start this. Oh my. Now, I have to tell you, I'm going to try to be, that's why I drew it first. I'm going to try to be careful to leave the snow as much as possible. Leave the white of the paper as much as possible. But when we're totally done, then I will come back and I will color some of that white. Because you know what? We think the snow is always white. No, it's not always white. It'll reflect the sky. It'll reflect the rocks around it. And if there were trees, it would reflect some of the green. So the snow is not really truly white if you really look at it. So I don't know if you're any place where you can look at any snow, but I can't believe we still have some snow on those mountains. You know, we have some friends that came a couple weeks ago to go to Vail for a little trip, and they have a little 2-year-old boy. And he woke up his mama really early in the morning because there was snow on those mountains. Oh, he was so excited because they don't see snow. So that was neat. And that was when we had that snowstorm up in the mountains. We had crazy weather down here, but we didn't have snow down here. So that's crazy. Okay, here we go, people. Oh, I can't wait to do this. I love doing mountains. I do love doing the mountains. You know, I have a book, and I can't remember who the author is, but the title of it is Paint What You Love. And so, well, I love lots of things, so I get a chance to paint a lot of different things. Now, you know, when something is in the distance, it's always lighter. It's always lighter, so you've got to think of that. Now, I've got to have my paper towel, because when I start doing this, I may find that it's going to be darker than I want, so I'll blot it real quick. I'm going to use my dirty water. Now, see that dirty water? Probably when I get done painting all the dark, the dirty water will be a good one to do just little tiny touches over the white. It sounds crazy, but that dirty water is pretty good when you want something really. Okay, I'm going to start with this pale this blue that's just a little bit bluer. It's amazing how different. And I have to tell you, this paper of this a 300-pound paper, it's very bumpy, and so it's going to be an easier one than my 140 to do dry brush. Now look at that. See that? How I'm leaving those little holes? I'm leaving those little holes of white, so it shows little tiny bits of snow. Is that neat? Just now, see, that's going on a little bit darker, so I'm going to blot that bottom part. So I am mainly looking, yeah, see, just blotting it just enough, and it makes it speckled. It's good. So I'm going to mainly look at where I have more solid places, and see some of that I can see. I'm going to need a little bit darker right there, but I will come back in with that after that's dry. Okay, so I see another spot over here, clear up here. This is pretty much the, I'm just going to need some more water right there. I don't want that dark. I don't want it that dark. I may need to pull that. Maybe that's what I'll bet that's what I need to do. Okay, I'm going to do this up here. Oh yeah, oh my. Yeah, that took care of it. You know, some of it, see how I pulled it with my finger? It just took it so it's a little bit lighter. So I'm going to be doing an awful lot of dry brush today. I'm going to let the bumpiness of this paper help me out to do the dry brush. It's crazy. It really. Now I'm rolling my brush so I get lots of paint on there, but I'm still going to pull it just a little bit because, and then there's a piece up here. This is not a quickie thing to do, but you know what? Sometimes the things that take a little bit more time, you think, oh, when you get it done, oh, you're so excited because it's just been what you just wanted to do. And look, I've got, see how light that is up there? Because if you really study it, anything that's further away, and you know another thing, when you look at, see now look, that's darker. So I'm going to blot that. I'm going to blot it right off the bat. Now you want to do this little by little, because if you try to paint too much and you have gone too far, then it's harder for you to blot it because it's already into your paper. Okay, so you want to do little by little. Now you'll see that I'm using my number 6 brush to do this. I'm liking that. That's the right color. And I keep using the water because I want to make sure. I'll tell you what, I think I mixed enough paint there. We could paint quite a few mountains, and I may just have to paint another mountain this afternoon just because I've got, now look, see, that's going on darker. So this is a spot that for some reason is pretty solid. There's not much paint, right? Not much snow right in this spot. So I'm not gonna use as much dry brush there, but as soon as I get that on there, I'm gonna blot it. Yeah, it just lightens it enough. Not a whole bunch, just a little bit. And then you still, okay, here we go. I'm gonna roll my brush again, and I'm just gonna pull the tip of it so it's not. Okay, my next dark spot is right here. You know, I think the way this mountain is hitting how it's hitting, the sun is hitting it. These must be the parts where the sun hits it more. And so more of that snow has melted, because we've been by there sometimes when that thing is just absolutely white. You don't see anything but the white. So I like this one when it shows just part of it. Now there's a strip, but I'm not going to do that because that needs to be the next darker color, so I'm not going to do that. But this, oh my, that's a big patch of snow. So I'm gonna do this right over here. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and this kind of comes down like a yeah, it's just kind of, it's a ridge of its own, and that goes clear up there, and then right on the top. Okay, now I gotta blot that because that'll be too dark. Then after I get all of these lighter ones, now I see right up here, I need just a little bit right there. And that little piece comes right there, but we'll blot in. Want that a little bit more. Okay, now this right here is dark. Oh, it's solid. For some reason, the sun has been on that, and it's pretty. I'm just gonna bring water. Oh, that's good. I'm just bringing my water now to yeah, just to pull that. Oh, I think that. Okay, now this place over here, boy, the sun. It's obvious the sun's been on that, and that's right up here, clear to the edge. I'm gonna just pull some water with that. See if I can pull that down. This thing comes way down. I'm gonna bring that down, and then this bottom part's gonna have to be darker because it's darker. It's closer to us. It's just a little bit lighter. Boy, it's amazing how much snow's on these mountains. Okay, now let's see. There's a patch right over here, but this is going to have to be dry brush because this patch right here, it's up at the top, but then the rest of it is really, really speckled. So I'm gonna blot that little guy. Now I'm gonna use my dry brush. I'm gonna use this same thing, but I'm gonna hold my brush flat, and I'm gonna tip my paper just a little bit so I can get in here because I want to really, really, really barely touch my paper. So that is all of this spot right here, and I want to save the snow. Here, I'm going to pull that so it's not so much. Okay. There are speckles of snow in there, but not so much. It's crazy. When it's like that, you want to just barely touch your paper because it's got just speckles all over. It's crazy how those, and this bumpy paper really does help with that because you can just barely touch the top bumps and it leaves the other part there. Okay, I'm going to come down here just a little bit because, and I'm going to do that just a little bit darker on purpose. Sometimes, okay, I'm going to blot that just a little bit. Okay, I think that's enough in that spot. Look how the dry brush lets that snow peek through those little pebbles of snow on those rocks. See, the rocks make so much difference. Now, you know, I've told you that, okay, I've got to come over here. I'm going to pull this just a little bit. I'm going to pull, this needs to be, again, some more dry brush, since I'm kind of concentrating on that right now, right here at the top. Okay, I think I'm ready to go to the next color. Maybe, let's see, that spot right there, that needs some dry brush right there. Yeah, that needs some dry brush, and I think I can hit it just this way. Just this spot is a little bit different. It's more speckled than that stuff that's up at the top. See, if you hold your brush like that, it's amazing. Now, we may come back to that, but right now, I'm going to go to this next color. Now look how green that looks, and look how that's separated. Oh, I don't like it separating, but you need to see that it does that. So you just have to mix it back up. So use your brush kind of flat, because it's hard on your brush if you mix a lot. See, look at that. That looks icky, but it'll be good later. But right now, this is our middle color. So I'm going to go in here, and you look at, and I know I just told you that the ones that are further away, they're lighter. Well, there has to be an exception, because for some reason this ridge that's clear over here to the left, it's darker than that other. So you know what? You gotta paint what it says to you. It's not always. Now look, that's going on so dark, and I'm still gonna do my blotting here in just a minute. But all of this range right back here is just so dark. So I'm going to pull it just a little bit, but I've got to leave that. There is a ledge of a whole puddle of heavy snow there. So I'm going to blot it just lightly, because I still got to see. Now I took out too much of that. Okay. So that's some snow in there, but then there's also, we'll just come down here, because this is darker here, and I don't know why it is. Hey, if it says that it's darker, then paint it darker. You know, you do what it says. That's why it's so awesome when you can paint outside. Now the thing is, if you were painting this outside up there, the challenge that you would have is, particularly since you wouldn't live there, because I've painted this mountain sitting over across the road and just painted little things of it, just little mini things, because I loved it so much. The light changes so quick. That's the crazy part. You think, well, that's where the light is, and the sun's shining on it, and that's what you paint. And then you look at it a half hour later and you think, why'd I paint that? Well, that's the way it was, but now it's changed. So look at how awesome that is. Oh, okay. So now we're going to go to more of this, and this time we're going to do this ridge. This mountain is right in front of this other one, and it has a ridge. These are really, it's crazy how rocky these are. So see, now I put that dark on there, but then I'm going to pull it. So I'm just going to pull it like this and pull it down, and I don't want that hard line right there. It's all right at the mountain, because it's showing it. But I have to tell you, then it's really dark right there. So I'm going to have to go into this other color. Oh my, and it's a messy looking thing, but I can mix part of it up. See how I'm having to mix that so that I can get the next darker color. And I want to do it right now on there, because I want to blend those two edges together, because this right here is darker. It just goes, it goes right up here, and I'll use some water and pull it, but it really is really dark right there, right in the foreground. And you know, I may have to even come back and add a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit more darkness right now, because right here along this edge, right there, it is just so dark, and then for some reason it lightens up a little bit further down. So we'll lighten him up with that blue, but for right now it needs to be this dark color. And you can see I'm leaving the little white spots, because it's got a whole bunch of snow up there. Oh my. Oh. Now, while I have this on here, remember I told you this spot right there needs to have some darker. Okay, but this time I'm going to pull it. Now I'm going to do this edge right here. This edge right here needed to be darker, but then I'm going to pull my brush, and then I'm going to pull it so it won't have that hard line. but it needs to be right at that edge where that mountain comes. Oh my, we got a little bit of mountain over here. Okay, now I'm gonna come in here with this middle part. Boy, I'm using up some of that middle, aren't I? I guess didn't mix as big a puddle of that or something. Okay, see, I see that even though this has snow and this has a ledge right here. This has a ledge. I don't know if that's just a rock ledge that it's like that, and then there's a little piece of this. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull this. I've rinsed out my brush really good, and I'm gonna pull it just a tiny bit, not a whole bunch, because I really want that strong edge there. That's about enough of that. Okay, this is snow down here, so we've got to go around all of that. So I think what we need to do here is, I don't know why I would think that, but I think I do. I think I need a little bit of that blue in here, even though, yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of that blue right here. And then I will blot it. It's just a little bit different color than the other, and it seems crazy that blue would be down there, but it seems like it is. So, and I may put some dark over that later, but right now that's where it is. Okay, now I see we need darker right here. This spot right here. This spot right here is quite dark against the snow. It goes like so, and it kind of comes down like that. And so see, I've drawn the lines to kind of fill me in, but not exactly. Do you know what I mean? Okay, now I'm going to blot that. And you're seeing that most of the time, even when I put it on, I'm still going to do a little bit of blotting. Now, I need to have some of this blue over here. I need to have some blue right along this edge, right here. We need to have some blue, and we will blotting, because that's going to be, and I'm going to pull it a little bit and bring it down here. When you're doing this, the reason this is one time the planning is really important on doing your drawing and having it where it needs to be, because what can happen when you start painting mountains like this, you'll just paint and then you'll lose your snow. And if you lose your snow, you've lost your pretty mountain. I'm sorry, but you have. So keep your snow. That's your concentration of keeping your snow, because you can always come in and do stuff a little bit darker, but boy, if you lose your snow, see, now I've got that little tiny space right there. It needs to be, so I'm just gonna pull that just so it's not a terrible sharp line, but yeah. Okay, now this ridge right here, this is snow, but this right here is pretty. The top part is more blue, and I have that, but we need to go this color now in here, and I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Okay, so this is a snow line right there. There's snow right there, but then this part is dark, and it comes clear down here. And then I'll add some darker down here because it's darker at the bottom, but not at the top. And then all of that bumps of snow. There's a whole bunch of snow up there. That's awesome. Now I'm going to blot this, but then I'm going to come down here because this part down here is real dark, so it needs to be this darker color. So you can see why it pays you to mix all three colors, because you about need to work with it all together. So this part at the very bottom is darker. You see you know, and I've told you this before because this has to do with whatever you're painting. When you have the dark against the light, it really shows the thing off more. Oh, see, that comes down there. It comes right down there. See, and if I hadn't had that drawn, I might not catch that, and I would lose part of that snow. Okay, I'm going to blot the top part, but I'm going to leave that dark part pretty dark because it's really dark there. Now, at the bottom of this, it's also dark. There's a lot of snow there, but there's all this little I don't know if it's a rock ledge, because it kind of looks like it'd just be a rock ledge, and somehow that is not then that part is this middle color. This part, it sure is weird that some of it is lighter and some of it is darker. Oh, and see that's a dark thing. Okay, let's blot that. Oh, I blotted that too much right there. Now see, since it's wet, I can stick some paint in there and it'll just kind of flow. Now this ridge right here, see, that's snow. That's solid snow there. But this right here is a dark ridge. So I need this dark color. I need this dark color. We'll mix that. See how it's separating already? Okay, this, I'm going to do this dark ridge right here. Okay, that's just pretty dark. All of that's crazy that it's that dark, and it's pretty solid, so whatever that is. Now, since I'm going to pull my water, I've rinsed out my brush, and I'm going to pull this because I've got enough dark in there. I can pull that and get rid of that line against there and bring this over to where the snow is. Yeah. Oh, wow. I am going to plot it a little bit. Oh, wow. It's kind of scary when you start doing that darker color. You think, oh, is that really right? Well, remember, you can do it lighter because you can always bring it back in and do it darker. Now, there are just a couple of specks up there. I'm going to do this middle color. There's just some places where the light's just different on it. So I'm going to do this because part of that, and then there's some little speckles where the sun has gotten part of the snow off and part of it not. Oh, wow. I don't know about you, but I'm liking this. Oh, wow. Oh, it makes me want to go up there and see those mountains again. I'll bet they are covered with snow right now. I'll bet they have quite a bit of snow because we've had some additional. See, now I see this has some little rocks hanging down here, little pieces. I need to add that. I don't want. Oh, see, now I blotted that too much. Maybe I can blot it just gently. I may have to come back in there and add some more. Okay, now, see right in there, there's a couple little pieces. Just blot it. Just sometimes, as you see, I'm going to use my finger. My finger worked good. That's good. Okay, now, let's go over here and study this thing, because this same one over here where I added that, this one right here, it needs to have this just along the edge, not much. Now I'm going to rinse my brush, pull it out, and there's, for some reason, there's just a dark ridge right there. I'll tell you what, I was telling somebody about doing this painting, and they said, well, why don't you just paint the mountains the way you see them? Well, I would, but what if somebody that sees and knows this eagle nest and thinks, well, she says she's painting eagle nest, that doesn't look like eagle's nest. So I want to paint it right. I don't want to do it wrong, because you people that are by it, you see it all the time and you know how it is. So, oh, and if I don't do it exact, well, just know that maybe that snow was different my day. Because I'm trying my hardest to do it as good. Now you'll see that there's these patches where the snow has come off. So I'm it's just like it's little bitty pieces of dark that are in there. I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing I did in that other one. This ledge right here, this ledge needs to have another dark spot. So see, you can always add more, but don't do it too dark to start off and then you're disappointed and you want to take part of that off. Well, you may have to do some scrubbing, and that's not the best to do. Let's try to do it. Try to take your time and do it from the start. Now I'm going to come back in here with this dark, because this spot over here, there's quite a lot of dark, really dark. It goes, I don't know. I don't think, I know the cattle and stuff can be down in this rest of this bottom. It's absolutely beautiful and green and trees and everything. Now I'm gonna have to blot that right away because I got that pretty dark, and I could put some water in it, but it is dark there. It's really dark. So I want, and then this, there's a little place here, and I'm gonna blot that, and then I see a place here. I'm gonna use this middle because this needs to have, this spot right here needs to have dry brush. And I think I better turn my board because I want to really hold it flat. And it's not that space, it's this. It's all of this, and it kind of needs to come, yeah. So I'm gonna leave a bunch of that snow, but I want to have it so it's, because this is just, yeah. That's the advantage of this 300-pound paper, because it's so bumpy. It just works a little bit better with doing the dry brush, and you know that the 140-pound is my favorite. But yeah, see, now I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna do the dark around it, and it'll be all right for where that is. So now I'm gonna come back to my darkest color and mix that up, and then we're gonna come in here with this little bit of darkness that will just kind of show that off. So I'm gonna blot that right away because that'll be too dark if I don't. But then this bottom part is really dark. So this bottom part is really dark right here. So we'll let that be dark, and I don't know much about this property, but I know it's special to the people up there because they all know where Eagle's Nest is. That's see, now this starts to come down here, and then we start to getting some trees. So we'll start putting some trees. This range right in here starts coming in trees. I have a place right here that I need this light blue. I can't believe it, but part of this right here is really light blue. It's not even, dark like that part right above it. So there's just this little space, and that's where the trees will start. Oh my, that's light blue over there. There aren't trees there, so I need to do this. Let's let's get from this, and we'll do this because I don't want to start those trees until I get this. I want to get this color in here as much as possible, and then I'll do a little bit of dry brush there, but it's why that changes I don't know, but it has to do with the way the light's shining on it. That's just the way it does. Okay, I'm going to come in here just a little bit with the light blue. Now, that's a patch of snow. That's a patch of snow. This right here, that needs to have a little bit more. This needs to have some lines in it, right there. Right there. This needs to have, it's kind of some ridges here or something. Okay. That's about all of that. But that's just snow. There's just some little specks in there, not hardly anything. Okay, we've done that. We've done that. That range, we got that. You know what? I can see this right here. I need to add a little bit more right here at the edge. See, when there's a ledge, I don't know if it's the shadow. Okay, I'm rinsing out my brush, and then I'm going to pull it, because that ledge right there just shows a little bit more darkness. Oh, and that right there. See, that needs to be darker. I can see that. It needs to be darker. It's not as dark as the foreground. I'm just going to put some paint in there, and then I'm going to pull it, because it's pretty solid there. It doesn't show snow there. It must be all melted off, but it's darker color than what I had that. So that's the advantage of having all three of those colors. Now, I need to study this up here, because there's some little tiny lines up here that, wow. I'm going to come in here with this. And I guess that's some stuff where there's not snow, so I need to paint that. Wow. Okay, wow. I don't know. If you're a mountain climber, I'll bet you would like to climb this mountain, but oh, I'll just look at it. I don't care to climb the mountain. Oh, our boys love to climb the mountains. One of the favorite places of our son, because we have twin boys, the one loved to go to St. Mary's Glacier. Oh, and if you remember that, many years ago, a young man was up there climbing all by himself and got caught in a rock, and he had to cut off his, I can't remember if it was his leg or his arm, to get out of there, because he had gotten squished and nobody was around him, and he had a knife with him, and he had to do that. So I wasn't crazy about when the boys went up there to do that, but they love climbing those mountains. I'll tell you what, they love doing the mountains. That was just a treat for them. Now, I need to have a little bit of this gray back here, so I'm just going to really dry brush it just a little bit, because we're going to put trees over the top of some of this mountain. You guys, I hope you aren't hungry waiting on me, because, who wants to quit when they can paint a mountain? You know, what thing better to do? Now, I'm gonna use this dark color. I need to do some of this right here, and then we will start some of those trees, and those trees will go pretty fast. It's the most, now see, when you're doing a painting, think about what your center of interest is. What's the most important? Well, right now, as far as I'm concerned, this painting, the strongest, most important thing to me is these mountains. This is the center of interest, and you can put You can put the trees around it and over it and do the greens. But you know what? That's what'll just show off these trees. So, oh my, I am liking that. And I think, now look, oh my, look at this. I see a spot. I see a spot right up here. Right up here. Watch this tiny, tiny bit. It's not much, but a tiny bit makes a difference. So I'm going right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my little tiny brush because I see another spot I want to do that. I'm going to pull that right now. Oh my, because I need to do that also right here, right at the edge. And so I'm going to wet this brush and just pull that. And I'm going to do it over here. Now see, I'll tell you, my last video I did, yes, I was done, but you know what? I wasn't done because then I did do some changing on it. It seems like I do that. But look how much it's showing off that peak. It needed to have that. And some of that you don't see when you first do it. And then you also have to consider that maybe it's better to do it when it's dry. Now right here, this spot right here, that tiny spot, those little tiny things make it have some change to it. It makes it lets you see the bumpiness to it, because that is bumpy up there. Bumpy. Oh, sure would. You know what? I should find out. I don't know how high that mountain is, but it's high. Now that guy I'm going to leave pale blue because he's back there more in the background. Okay, I am ready to mix some greens. We're going to do some trees, people. And to start this, now when you look at this, see, you see this, and there's still some snow down there. So I don't want to get rid of that. I want to make those trees go around that. But look how these trees are coming. And there's some trees up here. Very little over there. There's not hardly any over here. But little trees. And we'll show you how you do that. That's just so fun. Okay, so I'm going to take my flat brush. And I'm going to set that guy aside. And I'm going to... Would you excuse me if I just take a drink of my water? When I talk that much, I need a drink. Oh, good water. Water's good. Water's good. Okay. So you see, I did clean a part of my palette so that I would have something to clean to put my greens on. So to do my greens, if you remember, I'm using New Gamboge and the Cobalt Blue. Okay. And again, I'm going to mix several colors of it. So I'll mix this first and then I'll move it to change some of the colors. But this is really pretty dark. So we will come back up in and do those dark because they're more blue. They're more blue when they're like that. And I'll probably use some of those blues from there for up in the backgrounds where those I'm going to put a little bit of that ultramarine in there just to mix that up a little bit darker. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's good color. Okay, so now I'm going to bring a little puddle over here, and we're going to put a little bit more yellow with it so it's a little bit different color. And then I'm going to bring a puddle over here, and we're going to mix him really dark. Really dark. And you know, when I've talked to you about transparent colors, see, we'll kind of do the base, and then we can always come in with more color on top of the other because they're transparent colors. That's just awesome. Okay, now those ridges in the back are really dark. It's amazing how dark they are. I'm going to show you from this little photo because see how dark this is back here, and then this is lighter green. it has something to do with the light too. But those, I think those are mostly pine trees. Those are mostly pine trees. And now in the fall, some of this green that's in between these pine trees will be turning so they must be aspen trees. And I don't have a picture of that, so I can't show you that. But I have seen that's some aspen trees back there. But you can see that those pine trees are really, really dark. And they're so far away, they aren't defined. So we'll have to put little spigglies on top to make them look like a top of a tree. But we're going to start with this green. And I think what I will do, and here I've got blue on there, I'm just going to swish some green on here, and I'm going to put just some of we're just going to fill this up with stuff, and then we'll put colors over the top. That seems crazy, doesn't it? But it works. So that's all that matters. But I don't want to speckle on, I don't want green on my mountains. I don't want that. So I'm going to just kind of hold my hand here, and we'll put these blue. Now I've got to go around that. I don't want to lose that little patch of snow that's there. That little patch of snow is important because it's clear down in the... Okay, I'm going to bring this up here very, very carefully. Try to do it soft. Now I have to tell you, one of the things you need to know as far as green, you put green on and it's pretty on there. It's not an easy one to, I'm going to blot just the top of it so it doesn't make quite a hard line, because we'll come back in there. But that we're going to have a meadow down here, people. I mean, when you've got a mountain like that, oh, and I think probably at different times of the year, they probably have the cattle on there. I think while I've got this light color on here at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and put some lighter color in there, just flat right off the bat, because this foreground, it really is more of a lighter green. It's just a totally different color. It's too bad that I didn't put on there on my picture when this was taken time-wise, because it still had the snow, but so maybe this is a spring snow. That might be because of all of this green that's in the foreground. But now we've got a kind of a base on there, and we can come in, and I am going to come back here. Oh my, this is fun. This is fun to do this. I'll bet you would enjoy doing this. Now, I did the sky. I really did do that dark, a little bit darker than what I thought. And then I thought, you know what? It's going to be all right, because sometimes you look out there and you think, how can that be that it is so bright? But it is a lot of times. It is bright cobalt blue. I just... I am amazed. Now I've got just a few little lines here. I'm not going to concentrate on this foreground because, like I said, this is our main center of interest. So because I have those little lines, I'm going to come in here with this other color, and I'm going to roll my number 6 brush, just roll it in my paint. And I'm going to just, while this is wet, I'm going to go like so. I'm going to just do some little squigglies that are very minimal, and we may have to come back in. But to start, this is what I'm going to do. And then there are a few little trees, bushes here in the foreground, and we can come back and do that later. But this foreground is going to be very, very limited. That's not quite as wet, so I'm gonna pull it a little bit more here at the bottom so that it's, and then I've got some lines right here. This is kind of like, it's like back up here, they must go up a road here. They must go up a road back here to go to, oh, and then see there's one up there, and that's kind of a different colored. I'm gonna use some of my quinacridone gold over here, because it's It's really, it is a definite different color. It's more of a gold, so I think that must be a road that goes back up here. So I'm gonna go here. I want that to be a little bit bigger because I think that must be a road. Yeah, and then we'll just pull it so it's not. I think that's all right. And then it's like there's one over here, so I'm gonna do that. So this is not. I'm not doing much detail. Oh, and then see, I see over here, and over here underneath that, there is a patch of brown, brown, brown. I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna put it right here. Okay. Okay, let's see. I need some of that, and I'm going to put a little bit of cobalt blue with that. Just a little bit, because I want that really, yeah, that's crazy. That is just a little patch right here that's right below where I think that road is. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, now we're ready to do trees, people. Oh my. Oh, I like. And see, now I've got a little speck up there. You know what? Maybe we'll just make him into a little bird. How about a little bird up there? He's right above that peak. Let's see if we can do a little bird. My mama, when she painted, if it was a landscape, she always stuck a little bird flying up there. Maybe 2 or 3. She always had to have a little bird. And I don't usually do that, but there's a speck up there when I was painting, and we'll see if we can do a little tiny bird. That little bird's just flying up there. Just, okay, that's all. He'll just be a bird. Why not? We know there's probably birds up there. We don't get them in our photograph. Okay, I am so ready to do trees. I can hardly wait. But I'm going to get me a clean paper towel because I've gotten that other one pretty. Boy, I like those mountains. You know what, though? This is going to be so much better when I get those trees around that. Then you'll see. And it lets this come forward. Because what happens when you have this? Now, you know I always like corners that are darker. But this is kind of going to be an exception this time. Because this is not, our focus is going to be just totally up on those mountains. And you can't help but look at this picture and see those mountains. So it's going to be all right. So this time we will leave the dark corners alone at the bottom, but we do have them at the top. Okay, I think I will do my number 6 brush for right now. As I do tiny tops, then we will have to change that. We'll have to go to our little number 2 brush, but right now we're going to just do that. Now, because this is darker back there, I'm going to mix some more just blue, and I may want to use from that, but I kind of hate to take from my other stuff in case I decide I want something else in the mountains, because I want the same color. I want to tell you something that's really good when you're painting something, and I didn't do it on this, but if you can fix your paper and staple it or tape it or whatever, but leave an edge on the side that where you don't paint your picture, because what you can do is say you've started on these mountains, or you started on the grass and the meadow, and you can't remember what colors you used. If you would write out here that you used the elephant gray and you had 3 different colors, and then what you did for the grass, you did the cobalt blue and the new gamboge, and then you added just a touch of the ultramarine blue. It helps so much if you have that out the side, because you may start painting and then the kids come in or something happens, you have to do something else, and you can't remember what the colors were you mixed. And when they get separated like that, it's hard to tell what they are. So that's really a good thing for you to do. It really is. Okay, here we go. Now look how that is already separating. It's crazy how it separates. And I think it's gonna have to be quite a bit bluer than what I've done. But let's go for this and we'll start. So I'm gonna look at this because it's crazy. I want to try to save that little bit of snow that's there. So I'm gonna go right up in here. And see, I'll start this and then we'll come back in to do some little top knots on all of these, because this is crazy how much these little trees are starting at the base of these mountains. So I'm just going to kind of let it go sideways, and then I think what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try it. It's good to try it, and I think while that might be a good thing to do. I may not want to do it all the way, but while it's wet, then pull it up at the top just a little bit to make the little top knots of the trees. We don't want to make them like soldiers. They aren't all together, but they'll just be here and there. And so it won't be all the same. And we can come back in with the colored pencils and make just a little. Yes, that is it, guys. That's it. And I'm not going to worry about this at the bottom because we'll be coming back in. But it's like these trees are starting right here. So I go like so, just swish it on there, and then we won't have them solid. But we'll just put, while it's wet, I think that will work to do those little top knots. And then we won't have to come back in. And after we've done it and we think, oh, that needed some more, well, then just come back in and do some more. It's no big deal to do some more. But you can see I'm really doing that pretty blue. And part of it, those trees look different. They look different when they're far away. So I'm going to swish some of this down here, and when you look at this, you don't really see individual trees. You just see a whole bunch of green just sticking up there. It's crazy. They're trees, but it's not. They aren't exact. So it's not like painting a tree. Now, see, what we'll do is I'll do all of this, and then we'll come back in with ledges that will kind of make so that you can see that it's kind of like it is on the mountains. Some of them are further and some of them are closer. I'm going to see if I can just come in here with this. I'm going to do this darker color right here, because what's happened over here is this bunch of trees over here, there's kind of a place over here where they just kind of come in right with the mountains. So now I'm going to, first I'll pull it just a little bit at the bottom, just to soften that a little, and then I'll come back in and do that at the top. Wow, I'm liking that. I am liking that. And it says trees. It says trees. So see, now remember when we want to have a tiny fine line, we hold our brush straight up. We'll see how I can do that to make those little tiny tops of those trees. Just and so you can see that I haven't done it every space, but just kind of. I'm going to put just a little bit of dark color right there, because it'll just say there's some more trees. And then it seems that then it kind of goes here. There's a ledge there, and then it kind of goes here. So, okay, here we go. And this guy will come clear out here, and he needs some more dark color right there, so it doesn't pull your eye out there. Boy. Okay, now I'll do a little bit of tops of those trees, and then we will go to this other side, and we'll do do a batch over there. You know what? While I'm doing that, there's a ridge of this lighter green right underneath there. So I'm gonna just stick that in there right now, because now I see that there's a lit. So I don't know. Let's see. Is there over here? Yeah, there is. Okay, let's do that. Let's do it right now. Do it right there, and then we'll just kind of blend that in. So it must be a part of that is just the. Well, you know what? I'll bet that's the aspen trees that are green. Oh, that's what it is. But see, we don't see them that way. That's what it is, and then those other pine trees are around it. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. So, okay, now, and even that snow patch, there's some aspen trees kind of right underneath that. I guess that's what that is. Wow. That's the only thing that I could think it'd be, because that's a snow patch there, and I don't want to get rid of that little patch of snow that hasn't melted. Okay, so now we're going to come over and we're going to do some trees over here on the other side. So let's see, these start to go, these kind of join over here and go over here, and they come kind of like that, and then they come below that mountain, and then they come down. Okay, I'm gonna pull that just around that and just soften that. I'm gonna have to come back in some more around that little patch of snow, but for right now I'm gonna leave it, and then we'll come back to it, because I want to be careful I don't lose it. So now I'm gonna do the little, if this is wet enough, so that I can pull it, I'm gonna do these little top knots on these guys, just so that it says they're pine trees sticking out of below the mountain. They're just kind of below the mountain. Okay, yeah. Let's see how all the. Wow. See, I've got that a little bit darker, but you know what? It's like that. It's crazy. In fact, I'm gonna bring that some of that darkness over here, because there is a patch in there that's right above that looks darker. I guess I'll blot that just a little bit. It's scary to make it that dark, but it looks that dark. It's crazy. Okay, let's pull this up and see if we can make little top knots to these guys. And I should be holding my brush up. That's what I tell you to do. I better be doing what I tell you to do, huh? Tell me to go by the rules, Virla. Well, you know what? Sometimes we break the rules. Sometimes we don't go by the rules exactly like they are. But see how I'm just swishing that on there, and then we'll make top knots, and then that tells you it's trees. Okay. Wow. Let's see. I'm gonna come over here, and we're gonna come up here just a little bit to the side with this guy, and well, you know what? I think that I may want to spend some time with this a little bit later. You know what? It's going to be hard for me to get all that I want to do in this thing. I'm going to take my big brush, and we are going to make some big kinds of trees, and then we will just, oh my, okay, I'm going to go like so, and those are going to say trees, but you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect to be the trees. And see how it'll just blend with that foreground? Okay, let's see. And I'm going to put a little bit of that gold in that other spot, and you'll know that these are trees and part of the field. I'll tell you what, if you ever have opportunity to go by this place, you must take your time and look at it because it's so beautiful. I'm going to put some of that green in there because that is just in between some of those trees, and you would love it. You're going to want to take pictures. I have to tell you, you're going to want to take pictures all along the way, and you may want to spend some time because the thing's going to change. I'm going to come in here and then I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to fix this snow, right? The little trees, look and let that little patch of snow be there. And then you can see that there's still snow even in the base of that mountain. It's crazy how that is. Oh my, I hope you like what we painted today. It's so much fun. Oh my, there's no stopping, is there? It's always something new to add to it. And you know what? Oh, I love all the stuff God's created. I don't know how he ever did all that in 7 days. Kind of hard for me to understand that, but you know what? I love what he did. And I sometimes the other night when it was 11 o'clock at night and I look out my window, there was that big, huge, not big, huge moon coming up. And I said, I think you just put that moon up there just for me because you know I like it so much. It was absolutely huge. Not a little bit huge, really, really huge. Now I have to tell you, I'll probably set this thing up and I'm going to add some more of those trees, but I do love it. Thank you so much for being with me today. Just check out some more of my landscapes. They'll be quite different from this, but you know what? Everything you see is a little bit different, so paint it a little bit different. Have fun painting, people. Thank you.